Hey everyone, this is Rohit from careersprints.com, and we like to produce videos that help you with your professional development and continuous learning. In this video, I'd like to talk about the role of the project manager. Please note that this video is a recording of a free live class that we do twice every month. If you like to attend a free live class and better understand the content from the PM walk, please register for it with the link in the video description. All right, without further delay, let's dive into the video.
Standpoint. So let's now look at what are the powers of a PM, right? So this is very important, and this is actually quite relevant for you in the PMP exam as well. And this will actually be covered in the resource management chapter. So if you read like the PM book or if you read like other books, you will see that part of this is covered in the resource management chapter, because resource management is a lot about managing people, and that's where the um, the power of a PM really kind of is discussed in greater depth. So these are the different powers that a PM enjoys. So first is positional power. So like I said, positional power is what? Positional power is more to do with authority, right? So what is authority? For example, when you have formal authority as a project manager, you have the power to decide who stays in the company and who leaves the company, right? Or you can reward or you can punish people, right? So that is, in a way, that's one sort of power that a person may enjoy in the organization, or a project manager may have in the organization. So that's just one form of power. Now, the point here is that you need to know what form of power to utilize at what point in time. You cannot be utilizing just one form of power at all times. Then there is informational. So informational is basically when you have the ability to gather information from other people, right? So when you can gather and curate information from other people, which other people don't have access to very easily. When you have access to this critical information, you enjoy a certain form of power just because you have access to it and other people do not, right? Then there is referent. So referent is more to do with your credibility in the organization. So if you're a project manager and people respect you, for your charm or your charisma or your personality, or just they like you, your likability factor is high, that is referent power. So you enjoy a certain level of power because of your likability score as well. Then there is situational, right? So situational power is mostly applicable in a unique situation or in a crisis situation. So you could be a subject matter expert for that particular crisis situation. So you enjoy a form of power that comes because that situation has arisen. So that's situational power. Then there is personal or charisma. So it's like it says, it's charm or attention. Um, or attraction. This is similar to referent, but referent is more to do with the respect or the admiration that a person enjoys by other people in the organization. So that's personal or charismatic. Then there is relational. So relational power comes with when you have a good relationship with many people in the organization. So senior people in the organization, you have good networks, you have good connections. So that is relational power that you enjoy. Then there is expert. So expert power comes with if you're a subject matter expert, so you have a certain skill, you're good at something, it's a rare skill in the organization. So that's another form of power. Then there is reward oriented. So reward oriented is when you can give a salary hike to someone, for instance, right? You may be able to uh, 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 promote a person. So you may be able to give some form of reward to the person, or you have the power to give some of a form of reward to the person, or to your team member. So that is another form of power that you enjoy. Then there is coercive. So coercive action is the ability to invoke disciplinary, if there are any disciplinary issues, so so they can invoke any disciplinary action, or you can have some negative consequences. So they have the power to punish you. So for example, like auditors, like financial auditors, or for example, like uh, like an audit group, or like a regulatory body that exists in the industry or in the organization. They have the power uh, to coerce you into doing something. Then there is ingratiating. So ingratiating is basically the application of flattery to win favor. So you can basically you can flatter, you can get flattered by people, right? And you can do something for them. So that's another form of power that is enjoyed by a project manager. Then there is guilt based. So guilt based would be, for example, I can put you into a guilt state of mind. So I can say that this is your duty, you're not performing your duty, this is your responsibility, you're not doing it, this is something that you should be taking into account before you take this action. So what I'm doing is that I'm putting you in a state of mind where it kind of questions your conscience, right? So that is guilt based power. And then finally you have persuasive. So persuasive is you are able to articulate yourself in a way that you're able to persuade the other person, you're able to influence the other person. So you're probably good at arguments. You're probably good at putting down valid points, which convinces the other person to act in your favor. So these are different you know these are different powers that a project manager enjoys, either based on the person's position in the company, or also based on the person's personality. For example, persuasiveness is more of a personality based thing. Flattery or ingratiating is more of a personality based thing, rather than being a position based thing in the organization. Okay, do you have any questions so far?
All good.
Okay. So let's talk about, so those were the powers that the project manager enjoyed. So that's kind of different from, the leadership styles that a project manager can choose. Actually, there are many leadership styles. These are just some examples of leadership styles. So, I'm going to talk about each of them in a little bit of depth, so that, you have a good understanding of, these different leadership styles. So, and this is also kind of given in the PM box. So if you go to chapter 3, you would find these leadership styles there as well. So the first one that I would talk about is, is basically laissez-faire. So what is laissez-faire? So laissez-faire basically means, when you give people the autonomy to do what they want to do. So, so this is basically, when you're a project manager and you're practicing a laissez-faire type of leadership style, you're allowing the team members to make their own decisions. So you're giving them more autonomy, and you're allowing the team members to establish their own goals. So this is more of a hands-off style leadership technique. So you are not really getting into the details of how the work is being done. So, for example, you can use this type of leadership style when you know that the team is fairly motivated, when the team is fairly mature, when the team is fairly driven, right? So taking a hands-off style approach is better, because if you try to micromanage, then the team will retaliate, right? In a manner that you will not really like it. So, this is more of an autonomous style. So what you're doing as a project manager or as a leader is that you are setting boundaries, because, anyone who's working in a company has to work within the company's boundaries. So you're setting a boundary for the team, and within that boundary, you're allowing people to decide how they want to work, right? So for example, a lot of agile coaches, or like a lot of agile teams, work in this kind of fashion. So if you read the Scrum guide, or if you read any agile books, you would see that, a lot of the coaches take off like a hands-off style type of a leadership technique. Then there is a transactional. So transactional is more to do with accomplishments, right? So these would be like, like it's like saying, I'm going to give you this if you do this for me. So I'm going to give you money if you do this for me. I'm going to give you a reward if you do this for me, right? I'm going to help you achieve, I'm going to give you a promotion if you do this for me. It's like, it's more of, like, you do this for me and this is what you're going to get in return. So it's a give or take sort of a relationship, right? So some project managers, may also choose this style of leadership at certain times, not every time. right? But for example, in sales, a transactional relationship works really well because salespeople, for instance, are driven by incentives and bonuses, right? So so sales leaders, would do a lot of the leadership techniques that would be involved in sales would be transactional, where it's a give or take type of leadership technique that's being applied. Then there is servant leadership. So servant leadership is what is being practiced a lot in the agile community these days. So servant leadership is more about inspiring people, is more about leading people, from behind. So you're not micromanaging people. You're not a taskmaster. You're not assigning tasks to people. You're basically allowing people to evolve into better human beings, into better individuals. So as a servant leader, right, for example, scrum masters are examples of servant leaders, right? So servant leaders would allow the team to grow, would give the team more autonomy, would invest in the team's training and development. They would adopt a more coaching style of leadership, rather than, so they are not going to push things onto the team. They're going to allow the team to discover the best in them, right? But what they're going to do as servant leaders is that they're going to create an environment where the team is able to discover. So like if you look at agile, agile has a lot of games, and these games enable the team to discover various aspects about themselves, and enables the team to also collaborate. Servant leadership styles, enable more collaboration, and they enable the team to discover, various facets of the work that they're doing. Then there is transformational. So transformational, style of leadership, is more to do with establishing a vision for the team. Right. This could be, for example, you could be, establishing a vision for the team and enabling the team to accomplish that vision. Right. You could be, enabling the team members to become more creative and innovative. You could be basically transforming the thinking and the behaviors of the team members, obviously in a positive direction, right? So that is more of transformational style of leadership. So you're basically enabling the team to evolve into something better from where they started, compared to where they started. And then finally you have charismatic. So, charismatic leaders are able to inspire enthusiasm. They are able to they're able to produce more energy in the team. They're able to inspire the team. Charismatic leaders are also very self-confident. So, you generally would, like, for example, Steve Jobs, was a good example of a charismatic leader. Right? People really kind of looked up to the guy. Like many people in the world kind of looked up to Steve Jobs. In fact, even Elon Musk to some extent, there are a lot of haters for him in the cryptocurrency world these days, if you know what he's doing there. But, like in a way, he's a charismatic leader. Like there are many people who really like what he's doing because, in a way, he's pushing the boundaries of human abilities, and what human beings can do. So, that's another style of leadership where you basically, people follow you just because, you have an aura about yourself, right? So that's charismatic leadership.
Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Also, if you still haven't registered for a free live class, please do so. We pack tons of useful information that can make a massive difference to your PMP exam prep strategy. And the link for that is in the description below. Wish you good luck with the PMP exam. Thank you.